Hey everybody, it's BJ.
And Patrick.
And we're back talking all things real estate. And just want to thank you all that have subscribed to the channel. And if you're watching us for the first time, hey, take a minute and subscribe. Hit the like bell and also hit the notification bell, pardon me. So that you find out about whatever videos we're putting out. We're putting out 3-4 videos every week. You want to make sure that you're getting everything that we're putting out. And there's good content that we have. There's some fun stuff too and all of those things. What are we talking about today in the world of real estate?
In this video, you know what? I want this video to be an encouraging video for people who have, they dream of home ownership.
Yeah.
You know, they've been thinking about home ownership. You know, what if it's a parent? We're parents, and our kids are getting on, and in the near future, they're going to be of an age where you have to be 19 years old to get a mortgage. So, I want to encourage my kids as soon as possible, as soon as they can, even if they're not ready. I haven't settled down. I don't know if I'm going to stay in this province. I don't know where I'm going to work. Whatever the case may be, as soon as it's financially possible to get into real estate. For me, I wish I did it sooner than I did, and I knew I could have.
Yeah.
I just didn't have the guidance, or I didn't have the encouragement to go.
I didn't understand I didn't understand the value of it.
Yeah.
Because what are you thinking about it at 19 and 20?
I was partying.
I was going to say, I'm just thinking about where's the next party.
I was in the Navy. I was living on base.
Right.
My food was paid for. My clothes, not my clothes, my work clothes was paid for.
Yeah. I was
saving money like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah. I was living at home with my parents in university and partying my brains out.
Yeah. So,
right?
you're not always quite focused. I was good at saving money at the time, right? That was probably my best skill.
I was good at spending money at the time.
Well, all right.
So,
but yeah,
let's bring it back to how do we help our kids today? Because it's interesting that you say that. One of the things I told my daughter is as soon as you can qualify, you need to get a credit card.
Yes, that was the first thing. In college, it was like a trap. Going first day in college, you get your orientation, you get your tour around.
Yeah,
right?
And then the student visa comes up.
There's the visa is right there.
Yeah.
And I already had one, but it was a joint credit card with my dad.
Right.
But then I'm like, no, I already got one. It's fine. I'm good. Right. I put all my tuition on that credit card, but I paid it.
Yeah.
Right. Of course, because I was good at saving and I took care of all of that. And it was college. It wasn't like that expensive anyways. But it's a trap. As soon as you go there, they have the booth. Oh yeah, here's some opportunities.
Yeah, I remember going to U of A and then they had the student visa thing right there. But anyway, the point is I've explained to my daughter the importance of building good credit and starting that process as soon as possible. And the fact that once you get a credit card, buy something, pay for it. Buy something, pay for it. Yeah. Buy something, pay for it. So that you're establishing, number one, on credit, that you pay your credit card in full and you pay it on full regularly. And number two, you're establishing for yourself a habit of paying off your credit cards and only buying things that you can afford.
Right. That's a good start. So there's some really good habits or advice that young people could really be taking. But I want to share what are the top provinces, because, we're talking about affordability, housing crisis, all of these things are just flooding the news, YouTube with their clickbait. Some of ours is as well. And thank you for watching that. We always try to provide like a balanced view on what's going on out there. If the market is crashing, we'll tell you it's crashing. Or if the market's bad, we'll tell you it's bad. But, if it's cherry picking information, I want to point that kind of information out where, a little bit of information here, it doesn't reflect the entire market. So you have to have sort of a holistic view of what's happening.
Right.
So top provinces that are attracting the most amount of first-time home buyers.
Okay.
So maybe we should start off at the bottom. I don't have the numbers for every province, just the ones that are most popular.
I have a guess at what I think the top one is, but I don't think it's right.
Oh, go for it.
Okay, I think the top one is Alberta.
You know what? that would make a lot of sense because what do we have? We have job creation over there. A lot of people, interprovincial migration. We talked about this on another video.
Yeah.
We had a lot of young people leaving BC to go to Alberta.
Yeah.
And that's not the one.
I didn't think it was, but that still is my first.
But it might be in the future because of the things I just said.
Mm-hmm. No GST or PST also.
All of those good things, right? So there's different costs.
Gas
there.
is the price of gas. How's that?
Right.
It's
free, isn't it?
Wow. What are we at here? Is it $1.70-ish right now?
I don't know.
Something like that. And in Alberta, it's I don't know, $1.20, something like that.
I think premium is at $2.09.
Here?
Maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. I don't know.
So anyway.
Okay. So here's where the first-time home buyers are buying.
Okay, so we're starting at the bottom, you said.
Yeah, not exactly, but here's I'm not going to mention all the provinces. These are the most popular where first-time home buyers are buying.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with like 4, 3, and 2.
Okay. Yeah.
So New Brunswick.
That's number 4.
Yeah. It's
Okay.
at the bottom of the most popular.
Okay.
So even though having a highest percentage, the amount of first-time home buyers really wasn't too many.
Okay.
So, they have a smaller population, but the price point to getting into these provinces is quite a bit lower than other places in Canada.
i.e. Ontario or BC.
Ontario, even Quebec, right?
Yeah.
So I'll go through this quickly so
Okay.
we can get on with our fun stuff, right? So New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, Manitoba. This is kind of a self-explanatory. These were, by percentage-wise, an increase in first-time home buyers. The number one spot.
Saskatchewan?
How many people? Didn't Saskatchewan, even Saskatchewan? I might mess it up. I'm not going to go down that road. But no, it wasn't on the list.
Oh, okay.
So the number one, the most amount of first-time home buyers was in BC.
Wow.
We are one of the most expensive provinces. It's either BC or Ontario. Pick one, right?
Yeah.
From one year to another.
Yeah.
We have a median price of a home is $957,000 across BC.
Okay.
And but there's more to this. I'll tell you exactly how many. So there was 443,000 sales, give or take, in BC. About 25,000 of those were first-time home buyers.
Okay.
What is that? 6%, 7%, 6%, something like that, right?
Wow.
The average purchase price was $530,000.
Okay. So they're buying condos or townhouses.
Right. Right. So the article, looking at Stats Canada, the other provinces were mostly, they were able to buy single family homes, and reverse that, 63% of the first time home buyers bought condos, where in those other provinces, they most likely, the majority of bought single family detached homes.
Right.
Right, but to give you more context to this doesn't mean like you're 19 years old and you bought a place or a condo for $530,000. The average age, we covered this a little bit before.
Yeah, 35 or something, right?
Yeah, exactly, right? So the average age for a first-time home buyer in Canada was 36 years old.
Okay.
And it was like 50% or more was a couple. You don't do it by yourselves.
Okay.
And you do it with student loans still. Monkey on your back, right? You still have that being paid off most times. Obviously, there's a certain amount of people that did it under 30 years old, but the majority or the average is 36 years old. Just to give you an idea, so if you're like 25 and you're down on yourself, like, man, lots of people, they don't do it by themselves. They do it, and it takes some time to save up for that down payment.
Right.
What else was good about this? Right. So the average mortgage was $530,000. I'm gonna pick on this one because the headlines will always harp about you need $1 zillion a year income to afford a home in BC or Vancouver. Which it's wait a minute, they're using the median price of a home in Vancouver, which is probably somewhere like 1.2, 1.3 million.
Yeah.
But it's like first-time home buyers are not buying that.
Yeah.
They're buying $530,000 average price. Yes, some buy lower than that, some buy more than that.
Sure.
And I think the average down payment, this is an average down payment of across Canada, was something like 7.6% down payment.
Okay. Yeah.
Not 5%, not the minimum, and not 20% either.
Yeah.
So it's not really, not that some people couldn't do that or haven't done that.
Right.
That is what's going on. So for all the doom and gloom people, like, start sharing information that, like, how many people are holding back because they don't know that it's possible, or they don't feel that it's possible, right?
Yeah. Again,
So-
I think of Devin every time we say that.
Right? Didn't know.
Right? There's a past client of mine, and we have an interview with him talking about his whole process, because he didn't know. That was, to me, that was just an amazing line, where when we asked him in the interview, how is it that you waited this long to buy a home?
Yeah.
He's a young family. His son was 5-6 years old, something like that. And he said, you know this, you were there. And he said, well, we just believed everything that we read on the internet. And it wasn't until we had no choice, because they had, I think the landlord's son was coming back to town and so needed a place to live. And so they were getting...
Unfortunately, they were getting evicted.
They were getting evicted. And so he said, when we were forced into it, and then we actually reached out to a banker for the mortgage, and reached out to me as a realtor to help them. And they said, we found out, hey, wait a minute, we can actually do this.
Yeah.
And, to me, that's the classic example, because he and his wife both have good jobs. They have a good savings amount, and they have stability in every other area. So it was just a matter of them finding out, not just reading it somewhere and thinking that, because I read it on the internet, that's all there is to it. It must be true.
You know what? And even watching our videos, get more information. If we say something, you're like, oh, wait a minute, that doesn't quite sound right. Or should I believe that? Like, for me, it's like double checking all the information from all the doom goblins out there.
Sure. And, the other side of that is, there may be something that you don't agree with that we say, and that's fine. I'm thankful that we live in a country that we can disagree without being disagreeable. Right?
Right, but please, not just like, I disagree with you. Give me some information.
Yeah, we want to know.
Like, I want to research. If you disagree and I haven't seen something, put that link in the comments, or quote something somewhere where I can find it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
So, but don't believe all the headlines out there, the clickbait, the doom and gloom. Like, I watch BNN, Bloomberg, CNN. So I watch everything for real estate. And a lot of these guests that come on, they're economists or whatever, and they're talking about, like, permanent unaffordability in Canada. Like, I wish these people would never. To me, that sounds like a forever tenant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, if you think that you're going to be a forever tenant, if you think you're never going to be able to afford it, then that's what your reality will be. So if if home ownership is a dream for you, you will find a way.
Yeah.
There's some ideas out there. Maybe they're not the standard way of purchasing a home, and I don't mean rent to own. I think that's sort of a scam. We could talk about that
another day, because that's
right.
a whole different animal. Yeah.
But but I don't want to leave this as like, oh yeah, hurrah, Patrick is encouraging us, and don't believe all the headlines. Okay, fine. Some ideas. I'm talking to my kids right now. I got what do I have? 17, 15, 13, and 11-year-old, right? So the older two, even the 13-year-old, I'm already talking about, like, get a job, work on credit, just like you are with your daughter, right? And then even if you do not buy it, even if you don't have a partner with it, you have a brother, you have a family member. If it takes two incomes to afford something, and for us, we're encouraging them to stay home. Buy that thing, rent it out, especially now that the strata rules are unrestricted for rentals.
Yeah.
Even buy one of these. I'm going to say it out loud. This is exactly what I'm thinking. What if the only thing in our, like, Victoria's expensive. you can get one of those short-term rental properties now that are not short-term rentals.
Yeah.
You know, maybe it has no parking, maybe it has no storage. Somebody's still going to rent those things out.
Sure.
You know, we have I don't think we have a housing crisis. I think we definitely have a rental crisis in Canada. And Victoria has been, you know, sort of like that historical 1% vacancy rate anyways.
Yeah.
We've been living with this. We don't have a crisis. It's chronic, right? It hurts all the time.
It's just the way it is.
It's just the way it is.
Yeah.
So, you know, even if it's that option, buy one of those things, rent it out, stay home. Mm-hmm. You know, if you can't do it by yourself, do it with your brother.
You know, I'll say one of my clients, he ended up buying a condo, and he was renting at the time, and then realized that it made more sense for him to continue to live in the rental because he was getting, you know, such a good price and everything, and to rent out the condo.
Yeah. And not everybody can rely on like the pequity. This is my industry term. Yeah, you're looking at me like, what are you talking about?
Yeah,
right?
give me
this
the
is parent equity. This is the bank of mom and dad, right?
Yeah.
So not everybody can rely on help from their parents.
Yeah, dad co-financing.
That's right, pequity.
Yeah. Okay.
That's my term.
Okay.
Copyright.
I go
trademark.
I'll go with dad co-financing or mom and dad co-financing.
Mom and dad co-financing, but find a way, right? There's risks involved to all of these ideas.
Sure.
But you know what? Like, get on the property ladder.
Yeah. And I think we've said that repeatedly. Start somewhere, whatever that looks like, but start somewhere.
You know, even clients that bought like mobile homes 10 years ago, like they're selling for whatever the increase in equity. We have a place that's desirable. People keep coming in this direction. And then, you know what? They were younger. They moved out to Alberta and they bought like a detached house. I don't know where exactly. And maybe it's not in the most posh area. But they're happy going from a mobile home to a detached somewhere in minus 40 weather. I mean, like,
realistically,
somewhere else.
Now, you know, if I could just throw this out there, because I grew up in Edmonton, realistically, it's only like that for maybe a week or two out of the year, the whole minus 40 thing.
Oh, it's like having snow here in Victoria.
Yeah, it's maybe it's not a couple of days like we get it here, but you know, usually we would get something in January in the minus.
That it would be extreme for a short amount
30,
of time.
40 range, yeah. It's not as scary as everybody seems to think otherwise.
Oh, and probably the last thing to add is, other than reaching out to a mortgage broker, getting your credit and saving a down payment, having a budget, all those things, there are a bunch of, in BC, there's like 6 or 7 altogether, first-time home buyer programs. I think there's 5 federally. So do your research. You can. I have an article that I've written that covers all of those things. I can send you that. But message me, email me, text me is fine. All that is in the description. And I can share that link out to you there. So there is ways to help other than the Bank of Mom and Dad co-financing kind of ideas.
Right.
And if you don't have anybody, if you don't have anybody like parents, or you don't have siblings that you can go in with a property, what do people say? They sacrificed luxury items, and they budgeted, and they found ways to increase their income. And it took time. Think about the average age is 36.
Yeah.
So it doesn't always come overnight. So it's definitely a delayed gratification process.
Yeah.
Even if we don't like it that way.
Yeah. No, I'm with you.
That's all I have to say about that.
All right. Okay. Isn't that Forrest Gump? That's all I have to say about that?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
I've said that a couple times. Sorry.
All right.
I know. And I think about that every time I say it. I'm like,
Forrest
oh,
Gump.
man.
Yeah. That's okay. All right. Well, on that note, we'll see you next time. Same bat channel.
See you later.